Hi everyone, and welcome back. Look, there's something you should know if you're viewing this right now. Vital, it wasn't just another tennis match that took place in the United Arab Emirates tonight. Yes, it was a WTA 1000 competition. Although it was a first-round qualifier, what we saw was nothing short of a cultural, seismic activity. No, the headline you clicked on? It wasn't clickbait, I mean it. Dubai, the city known for its opulence, playing host to the world's elite, skyscrapers were completely destroyed. However, this is the problem. It's a positive kind of shock. The kind that causes a whole sport to take notice. We are discussing the Dubai. One of the highlights of the women's tour is the duty-free tennis championships. Typically, these events' early stages are really mild events. You have your VIP areas, corporate boxes, and a few devoted tennis fans strewn about. All around. Perhaps a little courteous applause here and there. It's civilized, it's silent, it's tennis, that's all. However, tonight, they completely disregarded that rulebook tonight. It didn't sound like the stadium. It sounded like a World Cup final or a rock concert at a tennis venue. And it all started with a single name, a 20-year-old phenomenon whose Alexandra Eala turned the harsh courts of Dubai into her own kingdom. The tales that have surfaced from the event are completely outrageous. Even opposition players observing from the stands, as well as seasoned tennis writers and tournament organizers, are stating the same thing. This venue was filled with thousands of spectators, and they weren't simply tennis fanatics. They belonged to her people. This enormous, fervent, well-organized Filipino community in the United Arab Emirates. They transformed what should have been an away game into a home one by mobilizing in a manner we hardly ever witness in individual sports. Game. They infused a Tuesday night qualifier with Sunday final energy. People, this is the Eala period. And it won't happen. It's here already. For the previous 2 years, we have been discussing it in whispers while following her trip through the Rafa Nadal Academy, examining the rankings and witnessing her breakthrough performances in 2025. However, the whispering ceased tonight and the roar started. Alexandra Eala entered the court to take on Hailey Baptiste. According to reports, the decibel levels reached levels often associated with Federer or Nadal during their heyday. There were flags all throughout the stadium, with the Filipino sun and 3 stars waving from every angle and painted on faces covered with railings. The chants were thunderous, rhythmic, and unrelenting. And this is the crucial background that we must first establish. The bat. This is significant because, in the post-Serena era, tennis has struggled to discover its next it factor. Don't get me wrong, our current champions are outstanding. Irina Sabalenka is a formidable force, and Iga Swiatek is an incredible machine. Who, though, is drawn to such culture? Who forces a person who has never watched tennis to purchase a ticket and stand in line for 3 hours? Alexandra Eala responded to the query tonight. She demonstrated that she is a sensation rather than merely a potential talent. Now for the shocking news. Eala moved forward. She has advanced to Dubai's round of 32. However, it happened in a dramatic way. Messy, and ultimately a reflection of the tremendous pressure she is playing under. She won the opening set against Hailey Baptiste, American, 6-4. That was a real battle, a grind. Eala had to overcome an early setback, break Baptiste's rhythm, use his deadly, lefty forehand to work those angles, and capitalize on the fervent enthusiasm of the fans. Vitality. The drama in the second set then began. Due to an abdominal ailment, Baptiste was forced to retire while behind 0-1. In other words, the contest itself finished in an unimpressive manner. However, what came next? Anything other than dull. Retirement usually results in a deflated atmosphere. People start to go toward the exits as the crowd disperses. Not this evening. The stadium exploded as if she had just won Wimbledon when the umpire said, "Game, set, match, Ela." Take a moment to consider that we are discussing the audience response during second-round qualifying. Competes with a Grand Slam championship. We're dealing with that kind of support. The organizers of the tournament are in a panic. Every time Eala plays, they realize they need more security. Larger venues are required. They must get ready for capacity. Crowds. We refer to this as the rock star effect. Additionally, The phrase is used somewhat loosely in athletics. Anyone with a little charisma is referred to as a rock star. However, watch the video. And I wish I could demonstrate. But believe me when I say this, in order to get a peek of her towel, fans are actually reaching over obstacles. During changeovers, they are yelling her name. Security appears really overburdened as they attempt to control the surge of people crowding in to sign autographs. That's the Beatles at Shea Stadium, not simply popularity. Level of chaos. The establishment is also experiencing it. Eala's next opponent is world number 8 Jasmine Paolini. Has already stated that Eala is a tremendous tennis player. She acknowledged that for a 40th ranked player, the psychology of this adulation, the financial ramifications for the WTA, and the future. Since Alex's next opponent is a player in the top 10, and if you thought the crowd was boisterous tonight, you won't believe what they've was organized for Jasmine Paolini. Fasten your seatbelt. There will not be an Eala it is loud, it is proud, and it is here. And one game at a time, it's dominating the Middle East. The tennis community has been alerted. This girl is too enormous to pass up. And the thousands of admirers behind her who were yelling? Impossible to overlook. Now let's get started. Recognizing the infrastructure of this occurrence, we must look at the structure underlying this frenzy in order to fully understand what transpired in Dubai. It's simple to remark that a large number of people attended, but that doesn't fully convey the atmosphere of the event. We must examine these individuals and the reasons that this specific competition became the Eala's starting point. Explosion. The environment of Dubai is distinct. It's a global crossroads, isn't it? However, in many respects, this city's throbbing heart is the community of Filipino expatriates. They have been the foundation of the healthcare, service, and engineering, almost every industry in the United Arab Emirates. However, they have mostly been spectators in the realm of sports. Yes, they would watch boxing events and NBA games. However, tennis? Tennis seemed like a top-tier European sport. Luxury, a gentleman's sport unrelated to the everyday life of Filipino workers overseas. That equation was altered by Alexandra Eala. Completely. She has given a seemingly aloof sport a human face. The moment those spectators entered the Dubai duty-free tennis stadium, they came to see representation tonight, not simply to watch a sport. They were visiting their personal narrative shown on a worldwide scale. A young lady employed overseas, struggling to make a name for herself, conquering challenges. That story has a strong resonance and forges a connection that goes beyond basic fandom in sports. It fosters loyalty. And this rock star reaction is directly fueled by that loyalty. When Eala performs, the audience is riding every feeling with her rather than evaluating how many unintentional mistakes she makes. There was a general moan that reverberated around the arena as she missed a first serve against Baptiste. It's more like shared worry than disappointment. When she broke serve with that cross-court forehand stroke, in the initial set, it was a release of tension as much as shouts. Had a visceral quality. Local organizers lacked preparation for this. They are accustomed to scattered, courteous clapping and the occasional standing ovation. They're not accustomed to this strong emotional bond between the athlete and the spectators during a first-round game. They had never witnessed something such. The actual tennis game. However, let's put the hoopla aside for a bit and discuss the tennis itself. Because Eala had to play a difficult match. Hailey Baptiste poses a real risk, and the world, she is rated 39th. Only one place higher than Eala. She possesses both weapons and experience. This was a coin flip on paper. It was a fierce battle in the first set. Right away, Eala got off to a slow start, and to be honest, who wouldn't with all the hype and expectations? Early in, she was behind 1-2. Eala could have given in to that pressure a year ago. Perhaps she went too far. Tried to play the hero too soon, but Alex has changed since then. This is the version that has been put to the test while on tour. She did not give up. She made points. She opened up the court by dragging Baptiste wide with that lefty spin, and struggled to return in order to break for 3.